Good evening, everyone. This is Gil at Camppatton Family Compound. With me tonight, I have Tammy of Rebel Canners and Mark of ChefTech, and we're here for the Monday Night Fireside Chat. And tonight's topic is canning questions and answers. And so here we are. And I know questions are going to pop up, so I'm going to put Tammy up there and put Mark down there because he doesn't have a face. He doesn't have a face to get plastered over by someone's question. All right, first of all, let's say hi to everybody.
I try to keep it off. The raccoon is cuter.
Yeah. So Walt Rogers was first in. Troop 1351 came next. Then Phelan Klein Wolf says he's lurking tonight. So everybody out there that's lurking, not a problem. Just say hi. Lurking like Phelan. He goes lurking tonight. And don't forget the thumbs up. That helps. Whichever channel you're on, that helps us out. All right. Next was Mother Earth Garden Club. Tammy Harder. Tiki Gardens. Shelly's in on your side there, Tammy. Tammy. Boo, getting here. Diana 2's in both sides. And Angel's in on both sides. Suzanne Galay's in on your side.
Thank you.
Lewis is in on both sides. It's the Marshmallow Man.
I'm on both sides.
You're on both sides, and Sue Me is in here.
Yay!
Okay, that explains the numbers I see up here. It says 19 people watching.
I can't turn the volume up even one notch on my laptop while I'm doing the StreamYard because it echoes back and does all kinds of bad things. So
yeah,
but I'm there in spirit. I'll click on it every now and then, move the mouse around.
That's why I have earbuds. I don't trust the automatic dampening on any of the streaming services because they always, one time or another, they'll fail. And you go, so, so tonight I'm going to just get rid of the slides because we don't have any questions up. But there was one question I was going to put in there, and we were kind of talking about that just beforehand. Over on the Rebel Canners Facebook page, a lady posted a question. I think it was about jellies or something. I forget what it was about. What the main thing about what got me and Tammy was it was for water bathing and all the different times. And then people started quoting and posting charts from over in Europe, different countries in Europe. Oh, Super Chat just came in.
Hey, Kevin.
And so, and I one of them posted was a top contributor posted, what she had from over in Europe there, and then someone posted this is the new 2024 one, and so trying to be the nice guy, I took it, copied it, and I comment, hey, someone else just posted this as the new 2024 one from over there in Europe, and I posted it, and she replied back, oh yeah, that's for Germany. I'm in France.
Yeah,
different times, and it's like no wonder why some people are just freaking out.
and the thing is, the time does change for altitude. So the higher the altitude, the longer the time is. And I think in the US we just have this blanket time, and over there they've actually broke it down better because their times were less. So that was pretty cool.
They have more people looking at the science behind it at different altitudes versus our country, which doesn't give a rat's butt or a raccoon's butt about anything.
Yes. Our people in charge do not have the financing to do the research.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Oh, Tammy, you've been shared on Reddit.
Oh, thank you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, so, if you guys have any questions, froze again, dang it. If you have questions, put it in capital block letters so it stands out so I can throw it up there for the questions up.
Yeah, I can't see the chat at all, so he's going to have to post them up here.
So Gil, just to be clear, this video, this live stream is about canning, not freezing.
Yeah.
I could go outside and then it'd be about freezing.
No, I was talking about his freezing the screen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I'm gonna poke fun at that. It's let's see. Run the temperature outside. Temperature is up to 38 right now, so it's not freezing here either outside. It's just my computer has a weak video card. Yeah, but the low tonight is 29. Is supposed to be 29. So yeah, it's not supposed to freeze until after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Our temperatures here this week are like this. It's supposed to freeze tonight, and then it's supposed to get up high enough that it's just raining tomorrow. So
yeah,
I left Saturday morning to go to work, driving all over Pennsylvania, and it was 52 degrees when I left. I was like, well, hell, I don't need my coat. Oops. By the time I got home, the temperature was 26. I was like, and I'm walking around with one of those nylon golf shirts on where the wind blows through. Oh, you feel it right away.
Ew.
I was not happy. Bipolar weather.
Well, actually, there's a perfect meme. One of these times I'm going to find. Well, it's not a meme, but it's been on the. It's like a meme that somebody posted a 30-second video of and put it on the reels, and it's like, whoever's holding Mother Nature's meds and took her pills away from her, give them back.
yeah.
All right, got a question here.
Yes, as long as it has a lid that
The rubber
has
seals.
the rubber on the inside.
has rubber in the inside. Yes.
And you still go dink 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 on the lid, so it'll suck it down and pull it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now what do you do about quote unquote finger tight on like a pickle jar? Because it's only like a quarter turn to pop the lid open. You just close it just till it's just snug. Water bath it, because I probably wouldn't pressure can those. And then when it's done, just crank it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
As you take it out. The other thing is baby food jars. You used to be able to do recan in baby food jars, and I have 100% failure rate with those now.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, they put less of the rubber sealer on there.
It's not the seal. It's they really don't have the threads that they used to have.
Yeah, it's like an eighth of a turn to pop it open. So
it does not. Even water bath, you can't keep the lid on in the water bath.
And I noticed the thread thickness is so you can just practically pull it off. I'm not sure how the commercial guys get it to seal to begin with.
I don't either.
It has to be some sort. It has to be some sort of flash seal, and it's put on weird.
I think
it's probably because when you can it, when you heat it in their giant chamber canner things that they have, these commercial size things, the heat heats it up, but once it cools down really quick, it pulls it back down. So it's sealing on the rubber seal, not the threads.
Yeah.
But that's why, the threads are not, once you pop it open, you really can't close it back up because they don't want you to put it in the fridge and give it to your kid the next day because it might be bad. Buy more.
Well, you might save money.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to buy two that way. The other thing is I think they also do like the European do where it has a kind of a scrunch against it. Where they have the tightener.
Oh, the machine, the machine pinches like on a bottle capper.
Yeah, like a bottle cap. And if you don't have that at home, you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Let's see. Any of the questions that because I was reading it a couple days ago and through and reading all the questions on the on your Facebook page, and
okay, here's the thing with that, and yes, you can can them, but just be aware that they have been treated with bleach. Yep. So baby carrots are actually giant carrots that have been run through a machine to make them all the same size.
Yeah. When they get the carrots going through to process them for slicing, for freezing, and other stuff, the broken pieces go down a different assembly line, and they run them through a machine that just sort of shaves off the. Now that stuff gets used too for carrot juice and baby food.
Or shredded carrots.
Yep, or shredded carrots, and then it just gets it down to these little baby carrots. They look so pretty. but because they're run through so many processes, yeah, they literally use a bleach bath. That's why if you have I've had it. My wife buys them. If you have a bag of baby carrots and you put it in the fridge, after about 5-6 weeks, they dry out, but they don't go moldy or anything. Nothing grows on it because it killed everything, including the nutritional value of your carrot. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, you can them, but I always rinse them off really, really good before I can them. And I don't care that they've been in the bleach so much, but yeah.
Or just buy regular
bleach really is a base.
Yeah, it's alkaline.
So you wanted to neutralize it.
You need an acid like lemon juice.
Lemon juice or vinegar or wine vinegar or something like that.
Citric acid.
The acid flavor will absorb into the food and you will not get rid of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you want to, that's why I would change it to wine vinegar, something that you can use it in already that you might be flavoring it with anyways. But yeah.
I would literally just say, you know what? Baby carrots are kind of pricey because they're so cutesy and the way they do it. Just buy a 2-pound bag of just regular carrots at whatever store. They're usually cheaper, except for some of the big, the high-end stores. Just buy those. Peel them, cut them up in pieces, and throw them in a jar.
Yep.
Yeah.
I buy deer carrots every year that are the rejects from the farms, mostly because they're really big.
Yeah.
And then I wash them really, really good. I cut out all the bad spots. I chop them up, and I use those to can.
Okay. Hang on. I missed the question here. Oh, how come my chat jumped on it? Okay.
Canning bananas. Sure. Monkey butter. All yours, Jamie.
Yeah, you can can it. You just need to put a lot of lemon juice with it because bananas are not acidic. But and for those people who say, "Oh, bananas are not safe to can," I just want you to know that I have found safe and approved recipes for canning bananas in jam. I can't remember if it was one of the big name companies like Kraft Foods actually put out a banana jam recipe, so it can be done. And Gerber cans bananas all the time, and every one of us has probably had baby bananas, canned bananas. It's
and here's the thing too, like you mentioned earlier, there's not the funding for the agency is supposed to be testing everything and then saying, "Oh yes, we tested, it's approved, we didn't have any failures." Just a lot, they're not testing a lot of stuff. No. And the books that are put out, you might find in an older book it in there. The only reason it's not in the new book because they don't get questions about it. So they go, "Oh, nobody's interested in it, so we'll just leave this out of the book and we can make the book a little bit thinner, charge as much, and not have to have the overhead, So it's financial as far as the books are produced, what goes into the book, what stays out of it, and interest-based as well.
It's not really a book, it's more of a magazine. So it's like, we're not going to make it thinner. We now can add more advertisements for things that have nothing to do with canning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Geeky said baby carrots are the tiny ones from the garden when she pulls them. So sure.
Yeah.
The real baby carrots.
The real ones. Yes. You can can them.
Mouse carrots. Yeah.
No, little kid carrots.
Yeah.
You get one of those, you leave the greenery on it and you hand it to the toddler running around. That way he has a handle. And that way he thinks he's Bugs Bunny. It was funny. One of my nephews, the Bugs Bunny commercials were still commercials. Cartoons were still on Saturday mornings and stuff, really big and stuff when they were growing up. And they got some carrots from my mom, and they're going around, "Hey, what's up, Doc?" And the ones are eating rabbit.
I've got to find the Jello Jigglers commercial, the old one. I've had two grandbabies I've sung that song to this week. It just happened to come up. One had a real squishy ball.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "It's like Jello," and I'm like, "Yeah." And I sang the Jello little jingle, and he's like,
"Oh no, wait, Tammy, wait for it. The B word has come up."
Okay, just for you, Diana too. Mark knows I don't use this word very often. There is absolutely no way to tell if there is something has botulism in it, because botulism is odorless and tasteless. So because of that, all low acid foods, whether you buy them at the store or you can them at home, should be heated for a minimum of 5 minutes before you eat them. So we're not talking fruits here, we're talking vegetables and meats. So especially anything that was in the ground where botulism comes from. So
it came from California.
Probably it was. They found it when they were digging for gold. Anyway, so you would really want to heat any low acid foods, or even if you buy a can of chili at the store, it always used to say heat before eating. I think they irradiate them now, so they've lost most of the nutritional value, and they've taken that off. But traditionally, any canned food, you should cook for 5 minutes. Now, if you're in the mountains, again, altitude affects that time. You would have to do it longer. But if you're just at the regular average altitude in the United States, where you'd can at 10 pounds of pressure, then 5 minutes of cook time, boiling, which most of those foods you're going to cook hot anyway.
Yeah.
So it will,
especially if you're in the mountains and it's cold, you're going to want that food hot anyways.
Now, here's the thing about botulism. When you talk about botulism, the same name is for 3 different things. So there is botulism, the organism, botulism, the spores, and botulism, the toxin. We live around botulism, the bacteria, all the time. It does not affect anybody except the elderly and small babies. When you put botulism under pressure in an environment that does not have oxygen, so no oxygen under pressure, like, underground kind of a thing, similar to that, that causes the organism to encapsulate and cause a spore. This spore is how it protects itself, and it lives in there in its own little excrement until, once again, it gets brought up to the surface, reaches oxygen, and it can survive and thrive and reproduce. So that is the second phase of this organism. The last thing is that little cesspool in that spore is toxic. So botulism toxin is what people inject into their face to get rid of wrinkles.
Botox.
Get it? Botox. Botulism tox. Yeah. Anyway, that stuff is deadly. That is what you have. That can be denatured by boiling. So you're not gonna
That's what happened to Plant Nancy Pelosi's face.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
So that can be denatured and rendered ineffective by boiling. You will not kill the bacteria, you will not kill the spores, but you do denature that by boiling. All right. Okay. I hope that explains it. I'm so glad I took that very irritating microbiology class back in 1986. I had no idea it would be my
science is settled.
Yeah, like that has not changed since 1986. So when people talk about it, first of all, they never know. A lot of the times they don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about the organism, and you really have to be, unless you're very elderly or a baby, you have to be afraid of the toxin.
So Tammy, over the last, whatever the charts are, 30, 40, 50 years, how many humans have died from botulism? Not many.
Okay, in home canned, because I only counted home canned.
Right.
From the time the CDC started doing it until sometime in 1998, 99, when I did the count, it was under 200 people.
Yeah. In a population of 200 million. Yeah.
Generally speaking, there is less than 20 occurrences in a year. One year had 24. It was the most. It was one event, and it was somebody who broke the golden rule of canning. And the golden rule of canning is use the right time for the right method. You don't use water bath times to pressure can, and you don't use pressure can times to water bath.
So you mean that beef barley soup I had in quart jars, and I put it in a jar hot, and I put it on the counter, and the lid went ping. It wasn't magically preserved.
No.
Anyway, I had to go there. So yeah.
All right. So I got some questions in the side chat. Also, hello to Shady Hill Homestead. So Angels asked about, would it be easier to can or freeze spinach dip?
It depends on the ingredients.
I'm going to say freeze because, I mean, unless your spinach, even if your spinach dip is all spinach, it's really easier to can or freeze spinach than to can it. When you can spinach, you get almost nothing. Like you could take a bushel of spinach, and when you can it, you're going to get like 3 pints.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be mushed. I mean, canned spinach, Popeye spinach, sure, it tastes like crap. That's why they really don't sell it much anymore. Yeah. Some people still like it. Most people don't. Yeah. And my wife just cooked up. She buys 2 8-ounce bags of spinach, and I throw it in the pan 1 bag at a time, and it just steams down to about a half a cup. I probably won't grow. If I grow spinach in my garden this coming year, it'll just be for her salads, but not to cook. Because I would need a bushel of spinach to freeze even a remote amount of spinach for her to have for a meal or us at some point in the future. It's cheaper to buy it frozen bricks in the store.
Yeah. And you get a little, not everything is high quality when you can it. I mean, you still have the nutritional value. It's a very high nutritional thing, but the quality isn't there when you can it. I just had spinach and artichoke dip for lunch today. So lots of cheese and cream in it. So it wouldn't can well. Asparagus is best pickled. It loses its crunch when you can it. And a lot of people do can it. I mean, I
grew up on canned spinach and fresh, not spinach, asparagus. I like the can sometimes. It has its own texture. It's like mush. You can put it in a pot and boil it and then throw it on your plate, and it looks like little asparagus pieces, mostly stems, because that's what they do. And then, sure, a little bit of butter, salt, and pepper on it. I'll eat it. It still tastes good to me. Yeah. And it's mushy. Fresh asparagus, I like it crispy. I do it on the grill. Wrap a slice of bacon around 4 or 5 pieces of asparagus, throw it on a grill, and grilled asparagus wrapped in bacon, and I'll throw a scallion in the middle of it, a whole one. Oh yeah, that's like me and my buddy Richard. That's our thing when we go to the cabin. He's like, "Are you doing asparagus?" I'm like, "It's not in season, dude. Damn it."
All right. So the last part of it is, what else won't you can?
I won't can tomato jam. Somebody convinced me that tomato jam was the bomb, and I could not even make it into ketchup. I did try, because I hate throwing food away, and it just is not my cup of tea. There's people that absolutely love it. It's their favorite thing. Not my thing. I also have a problem with sweet corn. I don't buy anything but sweet corn in the summer. And when you can sweet corn, it has so much sugar in it, it turns brown. Yeah. And it's not appetizing. Half your palate is your eye, and brown corn is not appetizing.
Yeah,
so while
I dumped
it tastes
out.
good, everybody's like
mini pints.
Yeah.
I did. I bought like a bushel of sweet corn, shaved it all down, packed it in jars, put it on the shelf, and I went down to check it. Like, a couple weeks later, I looked. I'm like, that looks like, and I won't say the word on your channel.
Yeah.
It looks like crap. And I opened one up. It still smelled like corn, and it had that caramelized odor to it. And I didn't overcook it in the canner, but it was still brown and just nasty looking. I'm like, no, we're done. It's going in the mulch pile.
They literally use field corn to can corn in the store.
Yeah, but you got the sweet white niblets. They're actually good. I mix those with my rice roni when I do that.
But again, and they also, I think they can it very raw. And I like my corn when I buy it. You always buy very ripe corn. And so it's hard to get good canned corn. I'd rather have frozen.
Actually, now it occurs to me, I've never read the ingredients. I bet you they put sugar in there. If it's like really young corn, very not sweet, they must add some kind of a sweetener to it.
Yeah, high fructose corn syrup.
This year I'm going to do baby corn because I love to put baby corn in my stir fry. And that is when it's only been made a year, about a week.
I was going to try pickling baby sharks. Baby shark. Anyway, that's just a joke.
Tammy? Somebody is following this on Facebook.
Oh, welcome.
So I just had a Facebook thumbs up pop up here. Cool.
Yeah.
So hello, Facebook.
I've got to figure it out now how I can stream to both again. So
yeah. So we can't, but we can't see any comments on the Facebook side.
Sorry.
Facebook doesn't show the comments into a live stream, thing. So. Let's see. I'm looking down here. Rather have wrinkles and Botox. No, Lewis. Nancy Pelosi did not get one good dose. She got 27 good doses.
Bad doses. She didn't get the botulinum toxin. She got all three of them all at once. Yeah.
Let's see. Sandy says she loves the tomato jam.
Yeah, and see, I mean, some people do. I just don't like really sweet tomatoes.
I should have used corn. Making corn relish. Okay.
Yes, corn relish is good, but you can water bath corn relish because it has the vinegar in it, or has a shorter time anyway.
Yeah.
And Dixie relish, I do Dixie relish too with corn.
I almost forgot. Shady Hill's not only on my side, they're on your side too.
Thank you.
Double dipping.
Yay.
Let's see. Any other questions that people are wondering about? There was one thing that I think that one we were talking about might have been broth back in the beginning with the different European times and stuff.
Yes, I think it was a broth time.
Yeah.
Which also makes it confusing because it's like a soup time too.
Ooh,
yeah, and then there was
I'm gonna run downstairs to my pantry and go grab a particular jar of something. I'll be right back.
Okay. There was another one that they were talking about. It wasn't quite as not polarized is not the word, as active in the responses and stuff. But there was one show they had a jar with a couple floating pieces of stringy turkey meat in there.
Oh yeah.
And some of them were like, "Oh, perfectly fine. You got less than 10%. Don't worry about it. Do the broth time." Someone goes, "Any meat at all has to have the full meat time."
No. To 50% or more.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there were people. Most of the response was if there's less than 10% of meat in there, don't worry about it. Broth time. Yeah. So, which is kind of cool that everybody was. You said 50%.
50%. Broth time and soup time are the same time.
Yeah.
And because the broth time and the soup time are the same time, the rule for soup is 50% solids, 50% liquid. So anything 50% of liquid or is the soup. So you can have a soup with just meat and broth.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of interesting that a lot of them are even though they're in Rebels canners, they're taking that a little bit safer. and they were going to.
And that's fine. You know, everybody has their level of comfort for their kitchen. I will tell you what the this power to be or that power to be says, because they don't always agree. And I'll tell you what I do. And then you do what you pick from those 3 categories where you are.
All right, I got 3 questions in the queue here now. Alton popped in here. So
Okay.
first one, beans.
Do not overfill. When we talk about beans, the chart for beans, it is a level measuring cup or a half a cup or a quarter of a cup. It is not, more is not better with beans. They will swell,
I found
pop the lids.
I found one particular method. I did it once in a test. You can go by cup, but if you think about it, there's a lot of airspace in the cup depending on the size of the bean.
Yes.
And so I go by grams. I'll measure a cup and I'll weigh it, and then I did this like 4 or 5 years ago, and I did 4 different jars in pints, and I forget what the measurements were, but I did by grams because it's a bit more accurate measurement. I did like say 100 grams, 125, 150, and 200 or 175 or whatever. And I added the water because the beans will absorb the water and expand. But if there's too many beans in there, they blow the lid off. And I blew the lid off of 2 of them. One of them had a little bit more airspace left in there, and I left an inch of headspace. And one had a little bit more headspace than the other one, and I was like a toss-up between the 2. But we opened those 2. My wife didn't like them. So I'm like, okay, we'll just cook them fresh and do whatever we do with them.
Yeah, because beans will keep practically forever.
Yeah.
If they're stored, dried right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, but it is convenient to just have a can of beans ready to throw into your chili.
Yeah.
There is a chart on Rebel Canners, because I can't think of weird noise. There is a chart on Rebel Canners with the different kinds of beans, how much to add if you want to go above that general rule of thumb and be more specific to each kind of bean. So,
yeah. So now with beans, now what you're talking about is you're taking like a half cup of beans and pouring them dry into the canning jar.
Into a quart, yes.
Okay. So you're not soaking the beans first and getting all the fart gas out of the beans first.
And that is not approved. And the powers that be will be like, and then there's this whole thing about kidney beans and,
white beans, pink beans, brown beans, steamer beans.
Well, no, kidney beans. There's a something in kidney beans that can be toxic if they're raw. So you want to make sure that you cook them thoroughly before you eat them. And doing the dried bean thing may not cook them as thoroughly as if you soak them first.
Right.
Is the theory on that.
Okay. All right. Next one here is Angel's just sent 2 lambs to processor bone broth.
Yes. And it is absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious.
If you like lamb. I'm not a lamb fan.
I did not. Okay. So years ago, I got mutton and and it was sold as lamb, and I was convinced I did not like lamb.
That's what my mom did that to us. She's like, we're having lamb chops, and they were mutton chops. And since then, and my father-in-law, not really my father-in-law, but it was my mother-in-law's husband. He said it the best way. It tastes like a wet, dirty sweater. And it did. It was like, oh my God, this is vile. And my mom would cover it up with all kinds of things on there to try to, because it was cheap. And I look back, I get it. And that's what she bought. That's what we had. We kind of ate it and was just like, hold your nose and eat it. And that way you don't have to taste it. But now I have had lamb more recently. And it was actually really good because it was real lamb, not mutton.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I discovered I absolutely love lamb. I have some lamb stew on my pantry shelf that I absolutely love. I'm the only one in my family that loves lamb. And you know what? I'm okay with that because that's the only jar of stew they'll leave alone on my shelf. So I always know I'll have some. So I'm perfectly happy to be the only one that loves lamb in my family.
All right. I'm going to play the little stinker here. The Princess Bride and Mr. Miracle.
Never saw it, so you're on your own there, buddy.
Man, okay. So Billy Crystal is Miracle Max, right? And he's always getting, ancient. He's always getting distracted and stuff while he's talking with them. And it's not a BLT, it's an MLT, mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. When the mutton is just right, it's the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah, all you, bud.
But yeah, I mean, it's there was a thing about it. They were I forget what it was. They mentioned in an interview they were going to use something else, and he changed it to mutton. And the whole crew just about busted up laughing on that one.
Yes, a young Carrie has my heart. That the As You Wish guy, Carrie is Carrie Hughes. I can't. Yeah.
You mean Mel Brooks's Perfect Robin Hood?
Yes.
Unlike other Robin Hood, I speak with an English accent. All right, let's move on. Okay, so Lewis has a question.
That's a pint and a half on our side.
A pint and a half.
Yeah.
So you would use the same time as quarts.
Yeah, a pint jar is about 500 milliliters.
Yeah,
pint and a half is technically 750, so a 650 is an oddball size. But if it's bigger than a pint or 500 milliliters, you use quart times. Period.
Yes.
Right. And Rose, Sandra just came in on your side.
Hi. It's definitely something you have to grow up eating.
Now, I just popped in my mind when she had spices and stuff. Popped into my mind. Oklahoma, North Texas, chili made with mutton, long cooked chili. Yeah. So you can't tell if it's beef, chicken, turkey, or mutton because it's so impregnated and it's slow cooked. And it's just falling apart, and so.
And the best chili I ever had was a very old goat. Goat chili is really good, but old male goat is not the best meat either. And
all right,
chili can do wonders for some of that.
Yeah,
I'll turn my camera on now. You ready?
Oh no,
that was the mute button. All right, so. These are bread and butter pickles from 7 of 18 in a glass lid jar, and they're still really good. And I got like 3 jars. This is a half pint bale jar, which I only have a few of those, and the rest are pints. I think I have 3 pints and 1 half pint left. And if my sister catches wind of this video, she will drive 4 hours and raid my basement because that's my mom's bread and butter pickle recipe, and they're still crispy. I still have a jar in the fridge that's been in the fridge for probably a year. And
you could bring that to Pennsylvania with you or Ohio with you.
I could, but I won't.
You could, and protect it from your sister.
Oh yeah, I would take it with me so if she comes to my house when I'm gone, she won't find it.
Yeah, and then there'll be a bread and butter pickle party at the rental house.
Yeah.
Venison chili is the bomb.
Let's see, 18 to 25. Yep, they're 5.5 years old, and they're still sealed. Yep. And I'm not worried because they're pickles. I won't use my glass lid bale jars for anything but water bath canning now. I won't pressure cook them. What?
Yes, Sue.
Read the comment.
Right out of that mutton.
Yeah, just like a sweater. Woolly mammoth.
And that's the good thing about pressure cooking or pressure canning is you can use the toughest cuts of the meat, and it will be fall apart tender by the time you're done pressure cooking it or canning it.
So I can do Tyrannosaurus Rex, right?
Yes. I did
Okay.
his cousin the ostrich once, and it turned out beautifully. No lie.
Checking something here. Did I not upload that one? Oops, I may have boo-booed here.
So real basic. While Gil is looking for stuff, we'll keep the chat going. So real basic stuff. If you're canning anything with meat in it, Tammy, you're up. If you're canning anything with meat in it, you use what time? Like, it's mostly beans, but there's a little bit of beef cubes in there. What kind of time do I use on that to can?
Well, if it's 50% or more liquid, you could use the soup time. But if it's more solids than liquid, then you would use the meat time, or the bean time and meat time are the same time. But yeah, meat time.
Yeah.
Bean time.
I forgot to upload something.
I didn't know that. I never looked into that.
They're the same time.
Yeah. So last night I forgot the size of a brown butt pork pot roast, and so I eighth it up, not quartered up, but did a little more. Put it in the crock pot. Put some broth on it. Bunch of onions, garlic, Lowry seasoning salt on there. Some other things in on it. Lowest setting on the crock pot all night. Got it this morning at about 7 o'clock. Went in there and it's just bubbling away. And most of the stuff had washed off the top down in amongst it and everything else. It almost fell apart coming out of the pot, the pieces. And I got some big spoons to scoop stuff out. Anyways, bros, I was kicking myself for not grabbing the other one that was on 24% off. Oh, should have grabbed both of them, because I was looking at it, it's like, dang, this is the broth and everything in there is still hot. I could drop another one right in there and cook it as well, and then probably because I put it into a big bowl, stuck in the fridge, and so far only Danny and I have been taking pieces off and eating it. But I'm looking at it, it's like, dang, I could have, if I had the second one, that would have been worth canning. If I had two of those together, it would have been worth, after in there, I just put it in the thing. And
so I just went to the store and got two of them on clearance price. And one had quite a bit of tallow, which I needed the tallow for another recipe. So I took the one that had all the tallow, the fat with it, the beef, and I cut that in half and extracted all the tallow off of it, put half of it in the freezer, and sliced the other half up into really cheap steaks. And we had steak the other night, and then I have one that is in the refrigerator right now that I have to cook up as a roast. So, and then I have the other one in the freezer. So we're going to get 3 meals out of 2 roasts.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So I'm just double checking to see how many. It's not showing how many I put in today, or does it? No. I've dropped a bunch of videos today on my other channel, Gray Man Prepping, including the one just before, about a half hour before we went live, was on the unbagging for, it was unboxing for making low gluten bread, which was the what you told me to get, the Swiss Miss
powdered milk.
Yeah. And so, Glenn's in the house, out of garden.
Hello.
And so, so I got everything set up in the kitchen right now, ready to go in the bread maker. I didn't have enough time to put it in the bread maker before it. Otherwise, I would have had it going then. But, so I will be doing another time-lapse video on it tonight. but I will be uploading after the live stream tonight onto Gray Man Prepping. Prepper Pantry number 3, crock pot roast. So that's just a little. That's just like a. It's a basically. I didn't show it cooking it, but I showed it pulling it out and pulling it out, putting it in the thing, talking about it. So it's just a little shorty, 5-minute one, 4-minute one on what I did. But yeah, I got to be hitting Wednesdays. I got to hit Sam's Club because that's when most of the pot roast meats, the different cuts for pot roast are on 24% off because nobody bought them on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. You got to know the days to hit the market.
Yeah. So everybody in Idaho, you want to hit it on Thursday, not when you have to.
That's right. That's right.
In Idaho Falls, it's Thursday. But
well,
yeah.
I was just excited to find that. I did not know Swiss Miss made powdered milk. And I was looking, I wanted something that was relatively cheap, but it does not have the hormones injected into it. And I think it also said antibiotic free. So that was what I was looking for in powdered milk. And so I was very excited to find the Swiss Miss because it's a brand I trust. And then it had that on there. And I have a video that just came out with brownie mix. And then I bought the Swiss Miss. Yep, that one right there. I bought that for the video that'll come out this week. I'll finish up tomorrow. I'm making a potato soup in a jar using instant potatoes, and that'll be a vacuum seal, not a canning recipe.
Why do you need instant potatoes? You got thousands of potatoes.
I may add a jar of those when I make but I always use instant potatoes to thicken it anyway. And this was the recipe I had for the meal in a jar. I'm doing a series of meal in a jar videos. So
all right, so there's the link, everybody, to that powdered milk there. And
I'll post the link on my channel when I get off of here too.
Right, but it's in the chat it should be in the chat on. I'm not sure if it's going to everybody. If when I post it on StreamYard, I'm not sure if it goes to everybody's chat or not.
Yeah,
so anybody in Tammy's chat, I'm not sure if it posted there or not. No,
I'll put it in the video link or the video description.
So Mother Earth Garden Club said, "What do you do to keep pickles crisp?"
Oh, there are so many things. First of all, you want to cut the blossom end off by at least a 1/2 inch on your cucumbers. That blossom end has a hormone in it that will continue to make your pickles ripen even after you've canned them. So you got to get the blossom end off. I actually cut both ends off. Boom. Then you can there's so many different things you can try. The number one thing I find is I like my pickles seem to be crisper if I put them in the refrigerator overnight before I open them and eat them. So
there's a question going back to the powdered milk.
Oh, okay.
How does powdered milk help low gluten bread? Well, what happened when I used the einkorn flour, the ancient grain stuff that's it hasn't been processed and bred into something that's really bad for your stomach. Anyways, I could see it raised up, was almost to the top in the bread machine, and then went bleh. And that's supposedly what it's supposed to help do, keep it from bleh.
Yeah. The yeast needs more food.
Yeah.
You're feeding the yeast better. But back to pickles, there's all sorts of things. Tannins will help pickles stay crisper. So some people put grape leaves or oak leaves in their pickles to help them stay crisper. There's a product called Pickle Crisp. When you harvest your cucumbers, harvest them right away, straight away. Don't let them sit around and dehydrate.
Well, then they overripe. If you have a pickle, if you have picklers with white bellies, don't use them. Once they start turning white on the bottom, they're too big and too mature, and they're already starting to go soft.
Those are relish material. So the ice water trick where you follow the recipe. When it says to soak them in ice water or put them on ice, put them on ice.
So my mom's recipe of my bread and butter pickles here, it's a whole different. This is from my grandma. It's I run the pickles through the food processor on super thin slice with white onions and a couple green peppers. Mix them all up. I put them in a bucket. I'll put a layer of pickles in the mix on the bottom. I will sprinkle. It's not even a measurement. It's just like sprinkle some salt, and then put a layer of crushed ice, and repeat. And on the very top is and I think it's ice first, then the salt, because the salt makes the ice get colder. You're almost freezing them. I mean, you're about freezing them. And then the top layer is literally the same thing. Ice and salt on the very top. Put it down, let it sit for some period of time. I got to pull the recipe back out again. Then when it's done, my hands were never the same for 2 months. I had to squeeze little racquetball sizes of pickles to squeeze all the moisture out of them to put them to get the pickle water, the cucumber water out, and a lot of the salt went with it. And then I made the pickle brine, and that's where I packed them full of the pickles, or the cucumbers got packed in jars, and the brine got poured on top, hot, and then water bath for whatever the time was. And like I said, I'm looking at this jar here. Now I want to go get a fork and open it up, because I'm like, I really want to piss my sister off.
And a lot of people do not even water bath them. So some recipes just say seal, and they're open kettle where they pour the brine in. You put the lid on and you let them sit and seal. That's open kettle. Other people water bath them for 5 minutes. So, and it's just to make sure you get a good seal on the jar. But if you over water bath them, so you want your water boiling, put your hot jars with your boiling brine in there. Start your time right away and get them right out at 5 minutes. You don't want to cook them. And those are the secrets. And sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep. I've failed on a few occasions making other pickles where I don't even recall putting salt in the recipe, but they were horrible. They were mushy and salty. And I think it's because I put them in there, let the water come to a boil, and then let it go for its 12 minutes and pulled them out, and it just cooked.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. This is the one time where you're not putting them in and bringing the water to a boil. You want the water boiling. You want your broth boiling, your pickling brine boiling. Put them in hot boiling and take them out in 5 minutes. It is not
the vinegar is enough to cure it. The heat is enough to evacuate some of the air so it seals.
Yeah.
So what, Tammy, and I love this question, and I actually just thought of it. What makes some of these commercial pickles so green?
Dye.
So they dye because the brine is like sort of clear, but the pickles are just green, like, the McDonald's pickles and stuff they put on your peppers.
Well, first of all, pickles that are being pickled at the pickle factory, they sit in a barrel of brine for upwards of 1.5 years before they ever make it to the factory to go into your jar. And they're
fermented.
They're fermented, and they have these great big, huge plastic containers, and they're just stirring them. And you can see they have the automatic stirrers, and they're stirring them in a brine. And then the trucks will come. We have a lot of pickle fields around here. And then the trucks will come, and they will put them into like a liquid tanker truck and take them to the factories.
Oh, wow.
So they may sit out and be stirred for a very long time before that truck ever comes and takes them to the factory. And they sit in a brine. So they are pretty much fermented before they're ever pickled.
Okay. All right. So I
guess that's the difference. Some pickles are in the refrigerator section at the store. Those are fermented. fermented pickles, like the Clausens and stuff.
Yeah,
those
those are
they're
fermented.
really good. So they're from. I'd love to try to do that, but you got to keep them in the fridge.
Yes.
Just like sauerkraut, once you're done fermenting your sauerkraut, if you can it, you kill the good stuff.
Yeah.
Still tastes good.
Probiotics.
Yep. But if you put it in the fridge, that's why some places in the refrigerator section you have those plastic pint bags of sauerkraut. So it's real fermented sauerkraut. Yep.
Feed your gut, your microbiome, Subi. Cheese has a lot of probiotics. Pickles have a lot of probiotics.
Oh, cheese also is a source of vitamin K2.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about pickles, and you mentioned when they're when the pickles get too big, wide on the bottom, those go for making relish.
Yes.
Anything about making relish that the very novice should know about making relish?
No.
You take your pickle failures, grind them up, and put them back in a boiling water bath for 5 minutes, and you have your relish. There.
Okay.
That's what you need to know about.
That's exactly what I need. Oh, but if you're making relish, if you have the pickles that are already Aidenier's in the house, if you have the pickles that are white on the bottom, the pickles, the cucumbers that are white on the bottom, they got big because they were hiding in there from you. They were playing I Spy and you can't see me, and you're going to make relish out of that.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I was wondering what so you basically just started off like you're going to be doing pickles.
Yep. Yeah. Chop them right up into little tiny. Run them through the food processor.
Okay.
And throw a red pepper in there just for some little color.
For color at the end. Don't mix it because sometimes it makes it brown.
What was the pepper I was thinking? I just did. My daughter likes the little pepper things. You get it. She gets them. She got addicted to them from Subway. Those
the sweet sandwich.
Shoot.
Cherry
peppers.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, the banana peppers. They do
banana peppers. That's it. Banana peppers. Yes.
That's just a pickled pepper. Banana peppers are pickled banana peppers.
Okay, cool.
And you can pickle those in rings, and again, it's a 5-minute water bath once you put the brine on them.
Cool. I'm gonna have to share that one with my daughter.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just make her watch this whole video. Give us the watch time.
Yeah. I make a bunch of pickled peppers every year for my kids because they absolutely love those on
the only pickled peppers I like to make now are cowboy candy.
All right.
I have something just popped into my friends that just like, when are you making it? When are you making it? I'm like, I'm growing jalapenos this year, so give it some time there, buddy. Unless you want to go to the store and buy them, and then I'll make them at your house, and you can keep all the stuff that was sprayed on them at your house because I don't want any part of that.
All right. Do you know what just popped into my mind? What you guys were saying? An old nursery rhyme. Peter Pepper picked the peppers, and Peter Piper picked the peck of pickled peppers. Where's the peck of pickled? Yeah. And I froze, or my computer froze.
Yeah, your computer said, shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
Aidenier has some add in here. Our far superior relish say okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so it's we're hitting the time here. Are you going live this week?
I have had 2 days of work cancel, so yes, I may go live tomorrow. I will probably go live tomorrow.
Okay, what time ish?
Noonish
Eastern. Keep an eye out for it.
While the sun is up, maybe.
Yeah. All right. And Mark, you're not going live for the next 4 months.
I'm live right now. Hey.
Well, on your own live,
Yeah.
Are you streaming to your channel, Mark?
No. Just don't.
All that watch time you can have over there. All right. So for me coming up here tomorrow on my other channel, Gray Man Prepping, for Tactical Tuesday, is a topic that Mark recommended. Welcome to Border Town.
Barter
Town. Yeah, Barter Town. Yeah. Welcome to Barter Town.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I've been watching all the stuff on the border protection stuff, and just all the stuff coming out of DC now. But anyways, so welcome to Barter Town. I'm going to be talking bartering, obviously. Thursday is the midnight ride at that's at 8 o'clock Eastern. 10 o'clock Eastern is the midnight ride on Gray Man Prepping. Friday, back here on Camppatton Family Compound, is favorite foods that are healthy. Yeah, everything. What's my favorite food that's healthy? Let's see. Dunkin' Donuts, no. Krispy Kreme, no.
Steak.
Yeah, steak. Pot roast.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. All right. Saturday.
Yeah. Little high fructose corn syrup going on in there, woman.
Yeah.
A lot. It's the second ingredient.
Yeah.
Saturday on Gray Man Prepping for Survival Saturday is the for the after the event. The event is for tomorrow's after the power grid collapses. What are your plans? And so that's we're gonna kick it off with that one because that's all. Everyone's really good. I got some nasty information that came out of DC about things that got pulled by certain Captain Crazy. And then next Monday here, favorite salsa.
Ooh, I have tried a lot of salsas. I finally have perfected my ideal perfection of salsa.
And we will have it next Monday.
Yes.
All right. Side chat here. Diana 2 says, gotta watch the president tomorrow.
State of the Union tomorrow.
Oh, is that it? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's tomorrow night again? My idea.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, it's the
Barter Town.
Mad Max and what's her name?
Great. So I'm gonna be watching the State of the Union at the same time I'm participating. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, State of the Union could be. State of the Union is not as crappy as it was 3 months ago. We're making good progress. We'll give you an update in another 3 months. There you go. Yeah. There's your State of the Union.
Yeah.
What's going to be the either comical or tick a lot of people off is the afterwards response.
Yeah. The after party.
No, the after spin.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks. Thank everybody for coming in. Thank those that are supporting Tammy.
Thank you.
They will support Mark once he decides to go live with us too.
Leave me alone, man. I'm just a lowly raccoon. Leave me alone.
Poke.
If I went live, I might have one person pop on, maybe.
Hey, you'd be surprised what's happened. When I've been talking about some of my older videos and stuff, all of a sudden those people started watching, getting comments on videos 5 years old.
Yeah, I have a video that's 5 years old that's still my top video.
Yeah.
And it's still
all in the search terms. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you for coming in, and hopefully Tammy tomorrow at noon Eastern, and then me on Gray Man Prepping at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. See you guys later.
Hey, last question. Tammy, what would be the water bath times on Dr. Pepper jelly?
I don't need it because it's so caustic it'll kill anything.
Jelly is a 5-minute water bath. Jelly is just to seal it.
Have you ever made Dr. Pepper jelly?
I've made Mountain Dew jelly.
Ooh.
But I have not made Dr. Pepper. You can make Dr. Pepper jelly.
So try it. Come on.
Nah.
Not with all those chemicals.
No.
All right, everyone. See you later.
Good night.